Nag-apply na. For your invitation.
Dante's Enigma.
Ang mga pananaw at opinyon ng pag-uulat ng mag-uulat sa programang ito ay hindi ang pangunahing posisyon o pahayag ng organisasyong ito. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Welcome po sa Editoryal sa Inyo Radio. Ako po si Carlos Kanahashi at bago natin simula ang ating tatalakayin ngayong gabi, sisimulan na po ng isang dasal. Mga ka-HNI members at sa inyong lahat, ating pong dasalin ang orasyon parata laban sa COVID-19. Makapangyarihan at mapagmahal na Ama, nagsusumamo kami sa iyo upang hiningin ang inyong patnubay laban sa COVID-19 na nagpapahirap sa marami at tumitil na ng mga buhay. Gabayan mo ang mga dalawasang naatasan na tumuklas ng mga lunas at paraan upang hihinto ang paglaganap nito. Paktubayan mo ang mga lumilingap sa may sakit upang ang kanilang pagkalinga ay malakipan ng husay at malasakit. Itinaas namin ang mga nagturusa. Makatamnawa nila ang mabuting kalusugan. Ingapin mo rin ang mga kumakalinga sa kanila, pagkamitin mo na kapayapaang wala hanggan ang mga pumanaw. Pagkalooban mo kami ng biyaya na magtulong-tulong tungo sa ikabubutin ang lahat. Ukawin sa amin ang pagmamalasakit sa mga nangangailangan. Nagsusumamo kami na inyong ihinto na ang paglaganap ng virus at ipadya kami sa lahat ng mga tao. Hiniling namin ito sa pamamagitan ni Jesucristo na nabubuhay at nanghaharing kasama mo at ng Espiritu Santo, iisang Diyos, magpasawalang hanggan. Tudulog kami sa iyong patnubay, mahal na Ina ng Diyos. Pakinggan mo ang aming mga kahilingan sa aming pangangailangan at ipadya mo kami sa lahat ng kasamaan. Magmahati at pinagpalang Birhen, mahal na Birhen, magpapagaling sa may sakit, panalangin mo kami. San Rafael Arcangel, ipanalangin mo kami. San Roque, panalangin mo kami. San Lorenzo Ruiz, panalangin mo kami. San Pedro Calungsod, panalangin mo kami. Amen. Ngayong gabi, ang tatalakayin natin sa gabing ang editorial natin ay kaugnay sa paano natin i-spot natin ang fake news. Okay. At ito ang definition. Ang balita o news ay isang report ng mga recent or yung mga kaganapan yung nangyari na hindi previously unknown information. Ito ay something having a specified influence or effect. The rain was good news for lawns and gardens. A material reported in a newspaper or news periodical or on a newscast and matter that is newsworthy. Ibig sabihin to, ang balita ay ang mga pangyayari hindi lamang sa ating lipunan, kundi sa nangyari sa gobyerno, sa lokal, sa ibang bansa, palakasan, ang mga entertainment, at ano ang lagay ng panahon. Ano ang magkakaiba ng fake news at real news? Ang fake news ay ang mga istorya na hindi totoo. Ang mga istorya na may konting katotohanan pero hindi accurate na sandaang porsyento. Ang totoong balita ay base sa kredibilidad ng source ng news media. Okay? Paano nagsimula ang fake news sa ikalawang unas ng siglo? Ano nangyari Dito sa Pilipinas, uso ang Pekeng Balita na simula noong 2016. Nasa mahigit siyam na ang source ng fake news dito sa Pilipinas. Ang layunin ng fake news dito sa Pilipinas ay para mapataas ang popularidad ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Pati yung mga anti-Duterte ay nagkakalat ng fake news kaugnay sa SEA Games dito sa Pilipinas noong nakaraang taon. At saka ito, parang nagma-martial law tayo Walang martial law. Hindi to totoo yan. Fake news yan Di ba? So, paano natin malalaman kung fake news ang source? Kilalanin ang inyong biases. Tignan ang pinagmulan ng balita, kumpirmahin kung naiulat na muli ang balita, basahin ang nakalipas ng balita, suriin ang may akda at kanilang credentials, obserbahan kung balita o opinion ito, suriin muli kung may lumang impormasyon at gumamit ng mga fake checkers. Okay? Paano papamigay ko sa iyo mga video kaugnay sa fake news.
If the path you choose seems too difficult, unimaginable,
Okay. Yung mga halimbawa ng fake news ay ito. Parang mag-martial tayo. Carlos Dominguez in all text max 95. Marcos on recount. New World Agenda. These guys, ladies and gentlemen, these are what you call as fake news. Ito mga nakita mo guys, mga propaganda yan. Mga fake news yan. Diba? Ito. Okay. Fake news is a form of news consisting of deliberate misinformation or hoaxes spread via social media. This is done through yellow journalism. Look at this. In the Philippines, it was common when Duterte entered to power last June 2016. A lot of fake news websites were involved. That's why the Philippine government needs to find a way to stop these fake news websites in our country. That's why we have laws throughout the world, not only the Philippines, that will also pass fake news. This is an unauthorized or falsified information. Diba? When would we... Okay. Here, I show you this. The Philippine National Police investigated 23 people for spreading unverified and false information on the COVID-19 virus and committing cyber libel. This is what you call as fake news about the virus to be removed from the Bayanihan to Heal as One Act signed last March by Duterte. This diplomatic row started when Philippines and Taiwan over a Filipino domestic helper named Elaner Ordidor who was accused of cyber libel. She criticized Duterte for the handling of the outbreak. The police anti-cyber group spokesman Captain Jack Robin Gamad said that the police investigated 15 people who have been accused of spreading fake news and 8 others for committing online libel in relation to the pandemic. Those under investigation include Maria Diane Serrano and Maria Victoria Beltran. The criminal charges were already been filed and they'll be penalized between 40,000 to 200,000 pesos for the violation uh, of the Bayanihan to Heal as One Act. Duterte signed last March 24 a bill called the Bayanihan to Heal as One Act, a section which is the penalty up to 1 million pesos for spreading false information about the disease on social media or other platforms. This will affect freedom of speech and expression and what this means for us. Fake news, especially during what to say anything, is not allowed. Why? We have a lot, the Philippine National Police, together with the DICT and the National Bureau of Investigation, has found ways on how to stop producing fake news online. Okay? This campaign called the COVID-19 Contra Peke. The Department of Information and Communications Technology combined joint efforts with the Philippine National Police to create Task Force COVID Contra Peke, a group tasked with the preventing and reporting fake news. And during the Laging Handa public briefing last March 24, Lieutenant General Guillermo Elazar, the Deputy Chief of the Philippine National Police, addressed the problematic spread of misinformation as the Philippines grapples with the pandemic. Al-Azhar called on fellow citizens to refrain from taking advantage of the confusing situation to proliferate misinformation and fake news on social media and other online platforms. According to him, fake news tends to harm the social order and potentially endangers a person's health by causing panic. The DICT, together with the CERT-PH, is assisting NBI and PNP to stop this. The DICT says that they're ready and willing to lend our expertise to PNP and NBI to help in the fight against the virus and disinformation. It threatens the peace and order as well as the safety of society, especially during this time of a national emergency. He cautioned the people not to be more vigilant in consuming information, especially those frontlining as news. If you can verify the source of an article and check for all related articles that would support what the person is saying, for those who are intentionally produce such materials, fake news. You'll be liable to the full extent of the law. The Contra Peke Task Force performance commitments on top of the PNP's ongoing campaign against disorderly social conduct, such as the hoarding, overpricing, and selling of fake warrant passes. These citizens or the members of the public caught fake news will be violating the anti-cybercrime law and the Section 6 of the Bayanihan to Heal as One Act, whichever is applicable. Okay?
Health officials can't Health officials can't stress it enough. Right now, there are no confirmed cases of the novel coronavirus in the country. Concerns have been raised regarding the spread of the virus, especially amid rumors spreading through text messages and social media that there are confirmed cases in some hospitals in Binondo and Alabang.
Let's not be used by unscrupulous groups whose agenda is to propagate infodemic. Infodemic means the spread of false or baseless pieces of information, because otherwise this problem, this misinformation can be more viral than the virus that we all are guarding against.
But there are 11 patients under investigation for possible infection. The health department released this map of where they are. 2 are in Metro Manila, specifically in Muntinlupa and Pasay. 3 in Aklan, 3 in Cebu, and 1 each in Tacloban, El Nido, Palawan, and Camiguin. They're all foreign nationals: Chinese, Brazilian, German, and American. All of them with previous travel from Wuhan, China.
So there shouldn't be any cause for alarm just because we flush the areas where the PUIs come from. Doesn't mean that those areas are infected with the novel coronavirus, because there's none.
What we know is that the one in Cebu, the 5-year-old kid, has been discharged already. And there are some that have been on the process of being released now.
The scare has prompted some schools to suspend classes as a precautionary measure. Their students are mostly Chinese, some of whom may have recently traveled to China. For the health department, it's unnecessary. The education secretary, meantime, has a reminder to concerned schools.
If they do suspend, these are their own decisions, but they have to conduct make-up classes.
The public is advised to continue taking precautionary measures to avoid the spread and possible infection of nCoV. Self-protection measures include hand washing, avoiding people with symptoms, following proper cuffing etiquette, avoiding contact with farm animals, consuming enough water, cooking food thoroughly, and consulting a doctor immediately when symptoms are felt.
Avoid shaking of hands this time. Sometimes at the most, siguro fist bump. Avoid beso-beso. Okay? Please. Okay? Tigilan na muna. Gano'n na lang. Kung gusto nyo, finger to finger na lang.
Ina Andolong, CNN Philippines.
Six people have been arrested in Indonesia for allegedly spreading fake news about COVID-19 online. One of the hoaxers claimed a woman flying to Saudi Arabia for a religious pilgrimage had died from the virus.
If convicted, they face up to 6 years in prison. Indonesia confirmed 8 new COVID-19 cases today, taking the total in the country to 27.
Okay. Guys, hangga't maaari, iwasan po natin ang paggawa at pag-share ng fake news. Mula sa kabuuan, base sa natutunan ko, ang fake news ay inaapekto sa ating lipunan at sa ating gawain. Okay? Dahil dito, pumapelo sa inyong lahat na tigilan ninyo na sa paggawa ng fake news. Okay? If you need to check for verification, you do so. Okay? We'll be back after some messages.
Sa kabila ng pandemya, kalibugan sa paligid, buhay pa rin ang diwa ng bayanihan ng pusong Pilipino. Ano man ang estado ng iyong buhay, tataguyod pa rin natin ang inklusyon Pilipino. Umulan man o umahaw, light o dapat lang Pinas ipapalalan ang malaman. Tayo ay one inclusion for everything.
Magandang hapon po sa iyong lahat. Ako si Carlos Kanashi, miyembro po ako ng Hans Inclusion Philippines. At ngayong hapon, ang aking talakayin ngayon ay ang mga katanungan tungkol sa Inclusion PH para ma-aware natin ang publiko kung paano natin madonate sa Inclusion. Ano po ang Inclusion? Ang Inclusion ay isang fundraiser ng Hans Inclusion Philippines para sa mga sumusunod. Una, mga PWDs na walang-wala kabilang sa mga nawala ng trabaho pansamantala dulot ng community quarantine period at hindi nabigyan ng ayuda o tinatawag pa natin social amelioration program. Mga mag-aaral na hindi kaya bumili ng materyales na gagamitin sa pag-aaral. Dahil una, bawal po muna ang face-to-face classes hanggang nagbigay ng go signal mula sa DOH, Malacanang, IATF, DepEd at CHED, ayuda para sa mga kapuspalad at ang mga proyekto ng Hans Inclusion sa hinaharap. Magkano ang plano ng Inclusion para sa fundraising program? Ang sagot ay ang initial estimated collection plan para sa Inclusion ay 200,000 pesos. Para sa mga nagtatanong kung saan o kanino magpupunta ang Inclusion project, ito po yun. Ito ang magiging allocation plan on the first batch ng Inclusion. Ang breakdown niya ng 200,000 ay 100,000 pesos para sa mga PWDs at poorest of the poor, 50,000 pesos para sa mga estudyante na hindi kaya bumili ng mga gadgets para sa mga distance learning, at 50,000 pesos para sa future projects ng Hans Inclusion Pilipinas. Paano po kami mag-donate? Ang mga paraan ng pag-donate, kung mag-donate kayo via GCash o PayMaya, ang numero ay 0917-701-9684. Sa mga lumang damit, pwede mo tawagin si JR Oteda sa numero 0939-434-2170. At kung gusto mo via bank, ang BPI account number 008199-3318-34. Okay. Pagkatapos namin mag-donate, may dapat bang i-email? Para sa mga cash donations, maki-email sa handsin.inclusion@gmail.com ang inyong proof ng inyong donasyon mula sa GCash o PayMaya receipt o BPI deposit slip. Ang subject ay Inclusion _ full name _ mode of donation. Sa anumang halaga o bagay, inaasahan namin ang inyong suporta sa amin. Hindi lamang sa amin, sa tonight, kundi sa ating mga kababayan. Halina at mag-inklunihan tayo. Para sa mga detalye, pakibisita po ang ating Facebook page ng Inklunihan na www.facebook.com/inklunihanph. Okay? I-like mo yung Facebook page ng Inklunihan para sa itong fundraising activity. Okay? Ako po si Carlos Kanashi. Sasabi, tuloy natin ang pagsuporta sa Inklunihan. #Include Together. #InklunihanPH. Pagpalain po ng buong may kapal. Together, one inclusion forever. HNI, God first. Continue to stay safe and healthy. Together, we heal as one. Okay. Okay. Welcome back sa Editorial. Ngayong gabi, mayroong gusto kong mabasahin na reflection. When we first heard the news on the breakout of the coronavirus in China, it was a mystery to us all. Questions are raised left and right in all social media platforms and national televisions. Most of us shared our own speculations and hypotheses until such time that the truth of this virus was unmasked. Revelations on the said pandemic were slowly uncovered, and I believe that we heard a lot already that we finally understood the causes, symptoms, and cure from such horrible illness. The world was in shock, and all great minds are working together to discover the vaccine that would put an end to all our sufferings. The Gospel for today, Matthew 13, verse 10, verse 17, speaks about understanding the mysteries of our encounter with God. Disciples of Jesus asked him why he is speaking in parables, and he responded that the mysteries of the Father are meant for those who are in relationship with him. To the disciples is given the understanding of the mysteries, but to those who are not ready to listen to the Lord Jesus, only confusion will be given. How do we understand the mystery? The word mysterion in Greek means something that was not understood but is now revealed. It can also mean a sign of something yet to come, or a physical sign of a deep or spiritual reality. It doesn't mean a problem to be solved. In dealing with the mysteries of God, it implies that God is revealing a part of who He and His plan in a way which was not known before or not fully understood. God is truly mysterious, but it was not refrain us from remaining in the dark about knowing Him. He wants us to walk in the light and be enlightened. From Psalm 36. To walk in the light and be enlightened begins in having an intimate encounter with Jesus. Encountering Him is to know Jesus, learn from His teachings, and believe in His miracles. As Pope Francis proclaimed, everything in our life, today just as in Jesus' time, begins with an encounter. An encounter with this man, the carpenter of Nazareth, a man like all men and yet different. The first ones, John, Andrew, and Simon, felt themselves to be looked at into their very depths, read in their innermost being, and in them sprang forth a surprise, a wonder that instantly made them feel bound to Him, made them feel different. Jesus desires all of us to have an intimate relationship with Him. When we forget about the relationship which He has developed with us, then we lapse into sinful rejection of that relationship. Jesus truly came to reveal who He
who He is and who the Father is, all under the guidance of the Holy Spirit. This also implies that we must spend time with God, not with the purpose of coming to a great intellectual understanding of the triune God, but with the purpose of developing a personal relationship with God in the three divine persons. Thus, our prayer and reflection time is not meant to be theological exercise in comprehending the essence of the triune God, but rather a time in which we live in awareness of the presence of God with us. In this time of uncertainties and doubts, may we all have the eyes of faith to recognize the beautiful, the good, and the joy of life amidst the strife around us. We count our blessings, not our sheeps. Okay. So in summary of our main topic in our editorial, news. News is the most important thing in order to be informed, to know what's happening inside or outside our country and the world, to help us entertain, to in, to to be informed about the happenings not only in the Philippines but in the world. So, in order to make sure that the news you know is real or fake, then you have to verify it yourself. If you see if it's a fake news, then you need to find a way to find out when, if regardless, if the news is real or fake. Okay? So especially during the COVID-19, we do not want the spread of fake news. For spreading false information or fake news during the COVID-19 pandemic is a serious offense under the Anti-Cybercrime Act and the Bayanihan to Heal as One Act. The penalty for the violation is up to 1 million pesos and or imprisonment or both at the discretion of the court. That's why, to prevent fake news, what should you do? As responsible Filipino citizens, it is our duty and responsibility to see if the news that we got is credible or not credible, regardless if it's real news or fake news. If it's fake news, then we have to report it to the authorities as soon as possible. When in doubt, we need to find ways on how to stop the spread of fake news. And we want anything real, okay? So, spreading false information online is not good. Why? It's because it's considered fake news, okay? Okay. Spreading false lies or spreading false information is not allowed. It's also considered fake news. Okay? So, we have almost 3 minutes left for the remainder for the show. We'd just like to promote something. Sa July 31, mababalik na po ang Inclu Sports. Tapos ng 29 na araw na nasara at 10:30 a.m. po kasabay ang pagbabalik ng laro ng National Basketball Association sa Orlando, Florida. pero to be taken behind closed doors. Also, sa wakas, nahanap kami ng host para sa Dear HNI. Ang abangan mo yan sa August 9, alas 8 ng gabi, kasabay ang hudyat sa pagbabalik ng Hands Inclusion Philippines. Tapos ng 2 buwan na pansamantalang nasara dahil sa mga recent developments. Ang mga recent developments na ito ay dahil sa mga sanction members na sinubukan nilang maninira ng reputasyon ng organisasyong ito. Para sa inklunihan, sa mga LGUs, NGOs at private organizations, maghahanap na tayo ng partnerships para sa inklunihan at hands inclusion. Kung gusto ninyo, mag-email kayo sa handsin.inclusion@gmail.com. Dapat ituloy natin ang mag-subscribe sa Ka-Inclusion channel, YouTube channel, para malakihin natin. Dapat maging 1,000 and up na tayo. At kahapon nag-announce na po na ang HNI online shop ay binuksan na sa publiko. Ongoing pa po ang inklunihan, and it is now your time for your chance to donate. Okay? I will appeal everyone to donate because as I said, inklunihan is our fundraising activity of Hands Inclusion Philippines. Okay? This is for the PWDs who cannot afford to go to work or cannot find a job because of the ongoing quarantine period. And also due to the students who can afford to buy gadgets, because face-to-face access are not allowed until a go signal is made by the Philippine government through the IITF. Dapat at sa mga ayuda para sa mga less fortunate at may mga future projects ng Hands Inclusion. Dapat 200,000 ang ating estimated collection plan. Ang breakdown niya, 100,000 pesos para sa mga PWDs at poorest na mga poor, 50,000 pesos para sa mga estudyante na kung hindi nabibili ng gadgets, 50,000 pesos para sa mga future projects sa Hands Inclusion. Pwede kayo mag-donate via GCash o PayMaya sa numero 0917-701-9684. BPI account number 008-199-3318-34. Sa mga lumang damit, pwede kontakin si Ginoong JR Oteda sa numero 0939-434-2170. Pagkatapos mag-donate, mag-email kayo sa handsin.inclusion@gmail.com ang inyong proof ng donasyon mula sa GCash o PayMaya resibo o BPI deposit slip. Ang subject mo ilagay, inklunihan _full name _mode of donation. Sa anumang halaga bagay, inaasahan namin ang inyong suporta sa ating mga kababayan. Halina at mag-inklunihan tayo. Pag-ibisita po para sa detalye ang ating Facebook page ng Inklunihan sa facebook.com/inklunihanph. Guys, ang Inklunihan po ay sense of urgency. Ibig sabihin, ito ay kino-communicate sa lahat ng tao na dapat kumilos ng maayos, kahit walang abala. Ang phrase nito ay dahil in-apply ito sa leadership at management at sa marketing and sales. Okay? Ang Social Amelioration Program, ito ay ang ayuda tulad ay binigay ng DSWD at ang local government units. Okay? So guys, may mga dahil sa inclusion dahil dito dahil sa kahit nasarado ang hands inclusion, kailangan po ang inyong mga panalangin para sa pagbabalik ng hands inclusion para sa ika-9 na Agosto. Dahil pagsapit ng August 9 at July 31 sa wakas, dahil sa awa ng Diyos at biyaya ng Diyos, sa wakas nakabalik na po ang hands inclusion. Nakatapos ng 1 hanggang 2 buwan na nasara. Okay? Guys, ang hands inclusion po, sana magiging successful. Dapat walang imposible, magiging best in the world, di ba? Sana, paano natin gagawin yon? Una, siyempre makikipagtulungan, participation at ang inyong kooperasyon. Pag hindi namin ginagawa ito, edi ang mangyayari, yun nga sa totoo lang, hindi uunlad ang hands inclusion. Di ba? At ito guys makinig kayo. It's been 3 years na guys since hands inclusion came to exist. But it is now time to move on as we prepare ourselves for the return of Inclusive Sports on July 31 and hands inclusion on August 9. Because of this, we thank everyone for your prayers, your patience, and your understanding for the past 1 to 2 months temporary closure. And for those who joined us on this coming July 31st and August 9, welcome back. Okay? And also, guys, in order to prosper and in order to manage this for long, we need to observe proper decorum. Like we should abide by the rules of hands inclusion by first, active participation, cooperation, also your professionalism. What else? What should you do? If you want to leave or to request if you want to leave HNI due to personal reasons or anything, we have to tell Ryland know about that in a professional manner, okay? And we should not and also continue to do all the necessary transactions of hands inclusion in order to keep managing this for longer. Okay? And of course, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we continue as everyone to stay safe and to continue praying for once the pandemic is ended and once everything is ready back to normal, then as of this, it's okay. And I like to continue to pray for the safety of those people affected. I would urge you guys to include it on your prayers. And of course, because we value God first, we need to start all our segments with a prayer. Okay? This will help us in order to promote HNI being God first. Okay? And soon we will have some songs. The first one on August will be the Kai Inclusion Forever. And our Christmas theme song, One Inclusion Forever, to be released on November. These two songs will be the replacement of One Inclusion Nation, composed by the former HNI member, David Hill. Okay. Okay. And also, we will also invite more speakers, motivational and inspirational speakers for the inclusive report so that we have time to interview with them. Last time we have finished with Doc Toto de la Cruz, Ernie Gawilan, Gary Rayala, and Andres Pardo. But we have other things on the way like Engineer Emma Rojas, Miss Nikki Perez, and Adalia Mary Grace Domantay. Okay? We expect for these soon. Okay? But for the meantime, um, we will focus on the other things we have to do for the org, like some of our segments, some of the projects, and other significant events in the history of hands inclusion. Okay? So, makinig kayo. I would like to appeal everyone to you should follow what Royland and HNI admin did. Okay? So that we won't have any problems in order to keep this organization for long, for the next years to come. Okay? Okay. Anyway. We will be awaiting for our question for today for the Kumustahan sa Inklo Radio. We will have that this Saturday with Danmar and Zedric. And we will also soon, by October, we have a concert soon in the state of the organization address. So maybe. And also, Hands Inclusion will ask everyone for your support and so that we can keep this for long. Because we are a community that we promote inclusion throughout the country so that we will be famous around the world. We might either encourage to support anti-inclusion not only here in the Philippines but throughout the world. Okay? And guys, we only have some minutes to go before we wrap up because later at 8:15 we will make way for SRO. And here. Okay. Here's a teaser later for SRO. Here's a question that you'll be watching later on Inklo Radio. Here. Sang-ayon ka na ba na F as in fail or FALFAC ang pagtugon ng gobyerno sa pandemya? Ipahayag ang iyong saloobin. Tumawag sa numerong 415-2272, local 5671-73. Okay? You're trying to watch that in the next 15 minutes. Okay. Now, that's it. Thank you very much for joining us for the editorial sa Info Radio. On behalf of Info Radio, HNI Philippines, this is Carlos Kanashi reporting. I will be back tomorrow for the inclusive report at 7 to 8:15 about oligarchy. And I will be back, and Danmar Dayo will be back tomorrow for the One Inclusion Live Primetime segment. I will be back, aside from tomorrow, I will be back this coming Saturday and Sunday for the One Inclusion Live Weekend Edition at 5 to 6 p.m. And on Saturday, I will be back for the Kumustahan sa Info Radio with Danmar Dayo and Cedric Marian. Okay? Thank you very much. Peace out. And may God bless us all. Pagpalain po ng poong may kapal. Together, one inclusion for every. HNI, God first. We will commence on Info Radio. Let's SRO.